So, suffering is an illusion created by thought. What if I were to tell you that it's not life, it's not the world that causes your suffering, but it's our mind's refusal and resistance to accept the current circumstances? Often we attribute our dissatisfaction or our unhappiness to external objects. This person's not behaving nice to me. My boss is being mean. There's traffic. I can't believe this person spoke like this to me. So we have a habit of placing resistance before life's circumstances, and hence we suffer. So, in order to escape the cycle of suffering, we must understand its mechanism and how it arises. So, suffering is produced by resistance to circumstances, which is produced by a thought. And the thinker of the thought doesn't exist, ultimately. So, let's break it down. Suffering is produced by resistance to circumstances. I mean, this aligns both psychologically and spiritually. But in truth, pain is inevitable. Everybody will experience pain. But suffering arises from the resistance to what is. We create our own suffering in the resistance to what life gives us. For example, we say, "Oh, I wish my partner wouldn't behave like this." So we attribute our mental anguish and emotional dissatisfaction to this person, when in reality, if we were able to accept the current circumstance as it is without resistance, there'd be no question of suffering. It is not the situation itself, but our mental and emotional pushback against it. So, suffering only exists and only can survive in the resistance of it. So, how do we cease resisting life circumstances and thus escape the cycle of suffering? Suffering exists through a single thought, which says, "I don't like this. I don't like what is present. I want what is not present." So, do you see the simplicity of it and how simple it is? So, the mind, which produces thoughts, superimposes onto reality labels, criticisms, judgments, comparisons, and projects and builds stories in the mind. This is not the external world. This is all happening within the domain of the finite human mind. So we say things like, "This shouldn't be happening. Why is this happening to me? This is wrong." So our likes and dislikes and our labeling, these narratives create inner tension and then suffering. But if we could cease identifying with these thoughts that arise on the screen of consciousness, then we would be free. We would be liberated. So, this is what the ancient traditions speak of when they say Maya or Samsara in the Buddhist tradition. We're stuck and bound by this misidentification with our minds. There's no owner of the mind. There is no thinker of thought. There is no experiencer of the experience. There is just thoughts. There is just the experience. So the most radical and liberating part is that there is no thinker of thoughts. This points to the insight that the thinker that we take ourselves to be is just another thought. It's a phantom. It's an illusion. The image we have of ourselves is exactly that. It's a thought-produced image. It's a projection from the mind. So there is no separate entity behind the thoughts. They simply arise spontaneously in awareness. The sense of I am thinking this or I'm thinking that is just another thought pattern. Who is the one to whom thoughts appear to? Who is the experiencer of the experience? There is no person to whom thoughts appear to. There's no entity that exists. So when we say I am resisting the circumstance, what we actually mean is there are thoughts on the screen of awareness which are resisting the circumstance. So your true nature is not a thought. Your true nature is not a feeling. Thoughts and feelings come and go, but you must be that which remains. So by finding your true nature, one escapes this cycle of suffering. And then sees past this illusion. And I think a lot of spiritual traditions are quite, are kind of presented as quite exotic and esoteric, but it's just about seeing clearly. There is no personal entity who suffers, only the illusion of someone resisting. As we said, resistance is in thoughts. There's no person resisting. And this isn't a belief system either. This is just a matter of seeing our experience clearly. This is an experiential understanding. This requires no belief, no dogma, nothing that would go against your direct experience. So it's beautiful how the whole mechanism of suffering collapses when this is seen clearly. You know? So to rest as your true nature, as what you always have been, and what you can't subtract from. You can never be anything different from your true nature. Thoughts and feelings arise within your awareness or your consciousness, but they are just visitors. They just come and go. So the resistance which underlies experience is just a thought which appears on the screen of awareness or consciousness. So what we do is that we treat the thought as just an appearance. And the thought dissipates once we shine our attention to it and we see it for what it is. And we remain and we abide as the peaceful presence of awareness in our true nature, commonly known as peace, happiness, and joy. Thank you.